What is going on, everybody? And welcome back to The Last Day. I'm your host, the Birdman Otis Falcon. Today is, or at least it should be, assuming I got the scheduling correct, Thanksgiving for those who celebrate Thanksgiving. So for those that do celebrate it, happy Thanksgiving to you. Have an amazing one. If you don't celebrate it, then you know what? Just have an amazing day in general. I'm doing here today the Ask the Developers thing from Wednesday. What you see in the background right now should be some pre-recorded footage, so I'm going to be focusing on the questions here live. The very first question is going to be, why zombies don't attack AI players? Why zombies don't attack AI players? Why don't the zombies attack the AI players is what I would say, but you know, that's fine. The answer from Kefir is because AI players have no soul and brains. Oh, very funny. Okay, that's Kefir trying to be funny. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I love that question and I really want that to be part of the game. It's really annoying when, I think all of you guys will agree with this, it's really annoying when you're out there farming or whatever, and then an AI player shows up out of nowhere, right? And the zombies seem to ignore him altogether and just come after you. They all gang up on you. Honestly, I don't think Kefir's done that because it might require a bit of extra, work to make that happen, you know? Have the zombies also target the AI. It's possible. It absolutely has to be possible, but, it's something I don't think they've actually really considered making it work, and I think it would be really cool. It'd be very realistic. I mean, Kefir likes to say that we're doing the game as realistic as possible, right? We have weather effects, we are eventually going to need stuff like, sleeping maybe, once the bed is implemented. We already have to eat and drink and stuff like that. So, having another human being attacked by zombies just makes sense, right? Because what makes them, invulnerable to zombies, I should say? Nothing. They're humans just like you, they have their own bases as well. Obviously, they have a brain. So, I think that's just Kefir's easy way out of this, but honestly speaking, I would love for the zombies to go after the AI as well. I think it would make it more realistic, it would also make it more fun, and you know what else it would do? It would make the game more strategic. So instead of just worrying about, oh, let me go kill this zombie and this AI player, you could now also use the zombies to go after the AI and for you to get away. It'd be perfect. So let me know how you guys feel about this one, if you agree with me or not. Alrighty, so next question. Is it so difficult to reset neighbors' bases sometimes? Okay, that's intriguing. Their answer is going to be, it's not about the difficulty and it's not the reason. The specialists who work on bases have different tasks right now. Globally speaking, they are needed to be redone, not just to put boxes in different places, but to rewrite completely so they will be useful in multiplayer in the future. Okay. Now, how do I feel about that one? I'm not sure what the question means, reset as in have loot over a period of time. I mean, it would only make sense if, maybe after a week, you could come back and loot it. And what I would do here with this is that I would make it so that the first time you loot the base, it's got some pretty good stuff, right? But then, afterwards, when it resets, maybe once a week, the loot isn't so great anymore, but at least it's kind of useful, maybe a couple of oak logs here, maybe a little bit of tape here, maybe one engine part, maybe a couple of wrenches, nothing too crazy that's rare, obviously, because it would make it OP, but just let it get some loot, once a week or something, because that again goes back to the entire realism thing. There's obviously other AI dudes out there who have their own base, so it doesn't make sense for that base to never be guarded, it doesn't make sense for that base to never have any new items, where the hell is that person at? Where did that AI character go? What, he just made the base and he left forever? No, he didn't leave forever. So, hopefully, eventually, they make it so that at least maybe once a week you could go back in there, and they'll have some more loot that you could obviously steal. And the best thing would be to make it, defendable by the AI. So, you go there once a week for an event to steal their items, and the AI is there waiting for you. And then you duke it out, and if you win, you get some loot. If you lose, then, you come back until you finally win or something. I don't know. But I think it would be a great idea if the base is at least reset once a week. Not amazing loot, but pretty decent loot. And you know what? At the same time, it's a very easy event. It would be a very easy event for Last Day to add. And they could add it, they could make it a new update and be like, hey, we have a new event. Rating your enemy bases for items. And, for us, it'll be kind of cool because it'll give us, something new to do. So I think that's a very easy update for them to make. Alright, so next question. Will we be able to find a weapon modification, and upgrade it. So, weapon mods to find out in the wild. Their answer was, yes you will, and it will happen even sooner than you think. Alrighty, that one makes sense. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not sure if you guys remember, but maybe 2 months ago now, maybe, or maybe even 3, they did have an not an update, but they had like a post, you know, on Facebook where they showed off the modified guns for the very first time, right? And they showed us like how it looked fully modified and like, you know, with one modification, silencer, the extra sight, etc., etc. So they did show that a long time ago. And even then, they mentioned that it was going to be possible for us to modify the weapons. So, it's obviously something that they have been working on, I have to imagine. And I'm very surprised it's not already in the game, because the weaponsmith bench is available. We can make it already, we can use it. The only use for it right now is to break down weapons that are about to break for weapon parts, right? So, if you make it that we find modifications, or maybe even in the bench itself, like a recipe to make a mod, there you go. You've now given that bench more tasks to do, other than to just break down a weapon for a weapon part. So that's a very easy thing I think they should have added. Honestly, a very long time ago, because at the moment the weaponsmith bench is kind of really useless. I mean, I haven't made it just yet. I'm missing like a couple of parts which I can now complete if I want to, but even now I'm kind of like, I get a lot of weapon parts from the bunkers if I really need them, so, you know, whatever. But, I think very easily they could add modifications to the weaponsmith bench, and that's a way for us to upgrade our weapons at the same time. Alrighty, so question number 4. Can we have a bunker as a base home, like Bunker Bravo? We can like rebuild the elevator with required parts and have the bunker to ourselves? How about that? And their answer was, again, we thought about such features, but right now, you can only have one base. So, I'm not sure. I think the question means mostly like modifying our current base to like maybe have multiple floors. Now, if you guys remember, even if you go to the last day Google Play Store, they still have the old images from like a long time ago where they showed like 2 levels to the base. Like, you know, you could build like an upstairs area. That was never added because of performance issues, is what I heard. But underground levels, I don't think it'd be too difficult, and it wouldn't really, mess with performance, because if you add like an underground level to your current base, like an elevator going down, all you really have to do then is just load into a different map, an underground map, for that, for your base, right? And then when you want to go back up, you go into the elevator, go back up, and it loads into your outside base. So can it be done? Yeah. Will it be done? I really don't see it. I really don't think they'll probably want to add like underground parts to your current base. I mean, the bunker makes sense already because, you know, it's a bunker that, you know, I'm pretty sure a lot of man hours went into making that bunker, a lot of people. For your survivor alone to like literally excavate the bottom area of your base and then make a little small base underneath that one. Again, we're going back to the realism thing. How realistic is that? I mean, can it be done? Sure, I could see like a tunnel being made. But an entire underground floor by one dude? Yeah, I don't really see it, no. Alrighty, so question number 5. Will we ever see a melee weapon you can throw, and it still does 3 times damage if it hits the target from behind? And their answer was, awesome idea! Really? So, a melee weapon that you can throw. I mean, maybe I might be imagining this, but did we not talk about, or at least did Last Day not ever mention at one point, like throwable axes or something, like a tomahawk? Or maybe even as silly as it sounds, maybe a boomerang. I mean, the boomerang would work, right? You could throw the boomerang, and then after you hit the target, it comes back to you. The only thing that'd be kind of weird is that you'd have to make it in a way that the boomerang would have to be able to switch from range to melee instantly. You know, because if you use the weapon, the boomerang for instance, it'll fly off and hit something and then come back to you. But then you have to code it in a way that, well, after you've done that, the boomerang now has to know that the enemy is melee range, and now you have to attack him melee, so what happens if you attack him again and the boomerang goes flying again, right? So, I mean, do you really have to do this? No, not really. I mean, all you really have to do for this is, what I would do as a matter of fact, is just make it so that with a gun, or the bow, you could actually get 3 times damage if you sneak up on a monster, or not a monster, as a monster, sure, a zombie, a monster, whatever. And if you get behind them without alerting them, you shoot them once, it'll be 3 times damage. And then what you can do is switch over to your melee weapon and do it that way. Now, will they do that? Maybe. I don't see it happening just because it would be kind of OP. Because assuming you get like the weapon with the longest range, which I guess would be the Ventoris. I mean, it's a rare weapon to find anyway. But can you imagine the Ventoris 3 times damage with all the range it has? I mean, by the time that monster even gets slightly close to you, he's going to be dead. 3 times damage, and then he's running towards you, and you shoot him a couple more times, and he's basically dead. I don't see it happening because I think it would make it a bit too OP. That's just my opinion anyway. Okay, so question number 6. Will Kefir please address the concern about female characters? A lot of your player base are women, and it should be noted that they will like an opportunity to play as a female character. Can Kefir address how high of a priority female character implementation is at the moment? And their answer is, the female character implementation is of quite high priority at the moment. And I think that's a very obvious question. I mean, it seems kind of like that might be like an older question because recently what Kefir has been teasing is the female character. They even showed gameplay footage of the female character in action, right? So we know that's coming up. As a matter of fact, if you remember my last video, or I was addressing some of my concerns. Not the theory video, but the one where I was talking about what's the next update. I mentioned in that I don't mind them adding a female character. I have like no problem with that. But I would be very disappointed if the next update is just a female character and nothing else. Because even though it'd be cool to finally have a female character for females to play as, or maybe if you're a guy, maybe you want to play as a female, it's fine. I mean, I do it all the time in Skyrim. Of course, my Skyrim happens to be a little bit modded, if you know what I'm saying. You know, you could play whatever you want. You know, if you're a guy, you can play as a guy or a girl, and vice versa, right? I know some people are, like, when people do that, I know some people are, like, very close-minded for the reason. They're like, why do you want to play as a girl? Whoa, what are you, a girl too? It's like, no, it's just a game, dude. It's literally a game. Play as whatever you want. But, it's fine if they add the female character. That's cool. It gives us, more options to play as different characters, which is alright. But, again, if the only implementation next update is the female and nothing else, it would be kind of lame because it's no new content. You have a new character, but you're doing the exact same thing we've been doing the last month with a female character. So nothing's really changed. All you're doing now is playing as a different skin. So obviously, if they add the female characters, I would like a bit of like extra content to be added alongside of that. You know, like here's female characters and here's this new event. Or here's female characters, here's this new map. Perfect. That's a perfect balance. But if you just give us female characters, I'll be honest with you, I'll be disappointed. It'll be great that they're finally in, but I'll be disappointed if I'm still doing the exact same things as a female character now, as opposed to just doing with a guy. So again, we need something new to accompany the female character. So, I mean, bring them along, cool, but give us some content alongside of that so we have something new to do meanwhile. That's all I really ask for. Alrighty, so question number 7. Is the dev team willing to stream more often, like once a week, and add something like the day of streaming? Their answer is, do you miss streams from the office? Once a week is too often to my mind. Don't want to distract the team every week. Well, I imagine the question is mostly maybe streaming the game. A lot of developers do go on Twitch and whatever, and they'll stream what they're working on. You know, like, it'll be like an update they're working on, and they're giving us like a bit of a preview where you go to the stream, you watch it, and they're like, oh yeah, we're working on this right now, and we'll see it in action. We won't get to play it just yet, right? But at least we'll be able to see the stream and be like, oh wow, cool, they're working on this. That's going to be cool whenever it gets fully implemented. I think a stream like that would be fine. I mean, if the question's only about the office stream, yeah, I could see that being annoying. You know, like they're at work, they're working on the game, whatever. Do you really want like a constant camera being like, hey, here we are, say hi to the people watching? I mean, I don't think that's really too important. But if they do like a stream like maybe once a week or once a month maybe or whatever, where they just show off gameplay of a current development build of theirs, where they're working on a preview or an update, and we get to see that update kind of like being worked on and on live, I think that'd be pretty cool. A lot of developers do that on Twitch already, so would it be impossible? Not really. I mean, it's just basically up to Kefir whether they want to make the effort to do that or not. Okay, question number 8 we have, will we be able to have more characters or quests that we could do in the game? And the answer is definitely yes. That's a simple one, obviously. I don't even know why you would ask that. That's basically like saying, will you ever add anything new to the game? Which obviously, if you're gonna be cynical like me, you could be like, well, it's been a month and they haven't added anything new. So they're done with the game. I mean, if you're gonna be cynical, obviously. But yes, they're obviously gonna add more stuff to the game. I'll be honest with you, that's a bit of a waste of a question for the column, but that's just me. So, number 9. Once you capture a player, can I electrocute them via the torture chair to abstract info of their base, I should say? Or will it be a different method? Can we remove body parts from captured players to keep as trophies, i.e. an ear, finger, toe, etc.? Good God, have you guys ever watched the movie Universal Soldier? That's what that is right there. That is the Dolph Lundgren character removing ears from his victims. Like, I'm not sure if you've seen Universal Soldier. It's got Dolph Lundgren and Jean-Claude Van Damme. You know, it's an amazing... Was it 80s or early 90s? It was either late 80s or early 90s movie. It's a great movie. It's Dolph Lundgren. If you don't know who Dolph Lundgren is, he's basically the Russian from Rocky IV. I must break you. If he dies, he dies. That's a really terrible Russian accent, I'm aware. But still, it's a great movie. If you haven't watched it, definitely go check it out. It's great. It's so good. Really gritty, very gruesome. Very cool movie. It's about cyborgs. Just check it out. It's a good movie. But that reminds me of the Dolph Lundgren character from that movie. With the ears, specifically. Anyway, their answer was, once you capture a player, you will be able to do whatever you want. Keeping such trophies is hardcore, but cool. As in, not gonna happen. I don't think they'll be adding that. I mean, it's not something I'm pretty sure the majority of people want. I mean, so I don't think they'll really waste their time and resource to just make that happen. But the electrocution thing with the torture chair does make sense. As a matter of fact, I want to say I told you guys about that a very long time ago, and then after I talked about it, one of the columns was about the question, and then Kefir's answer was basically identical to what I kind of gave you my ideas on. I'm not saying that, oh yeah, they watched my videos, they took my idea. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that I was able to, based on the item, how it would work, I guessed how Kefir looked at working with the electrocution chair, right? Or the torture chair, I should say. So yeah. I think, if you haven't heard my theory on that, you capture AI raiders who come to your base, for instance, right? You know, they're going to add AI raids pretty soon, kind of like how Jurassic Survival has like a random AI character that goes to your base on occasion. I'm sure Kefir is working on that too, and probably even adding more features to that element. But I think how it's going to work out, we'll be able to knock out an enemy, put him in the torture chair, and then with the torture chair, maybe after... It'll have like a timer or something, and after a while, they'll give you information, and that information shows up as a location on the map. We could go over there and raid that base, that character, or that raider's little hideout, base, camp, whatever, for items, kind of very similar to the chopper event. Maybe they'll give you a specific point on the map where you don't need a chopper. You can go to the raider camp and take care of the raiders and get loot. All you really have to do with that is just kind of clone the chopper event when you think about it. It's not really a hard thing to do. Just kind of clone it and make it that it doesn't require the chopper. And there it is. You have that event easily made. Without having to spend too much resource, just clone the event. There you go. Kind of make it similar without having to put too much thought into it. And finally, we have the last question here, which is going to be, will there ever be a skill tree? And the answer is, it's under discussion between the members of the team. Can only say that there are many who support such a way of developing our main character. Moreover, it can extend the game in some ways. Now that's very intriguing because I want to say, I'm not sure how long ago, but it felt like a very long time ago, that question has been asked before about leveling characters, RPG mechanics, and I want to say, I could be wrong about this. If I'm wrong about this, feel free to correct me if you guys want, but I could have sworn that Kefir initially said that was not something they were working on. But it could have been specifically to like raising HP, raising attack power when you level up, right? So it'd be like an RPG game, you know, like in RPG games, what happens when you level up? You get more HP, you get more attack power, etc., etc. Now, if you guys remember, Jurassic Survival has skills. I mean, not yet in the game, but it's already teasing skills. If you go up to like level 45 or something, you unlock the archives, and with the archives, whenever that's available, you'll be able to build it. And then from that, you'll learn the hunting skill for dinosaurs. And you know, in Jurassic Survival, you see all those little icons on the map roaming around. You'll be able to go to that event that's roaming on the map to hunt that dinosaur down because you have the hunting skill. So can Last Day do something similar to that? Absolutely, because hell, The code for Jurassic Survival is Kefir's. So yeah, can they do it? Absolutely they can. Will they do it? Well, that's kind of up in the air. Now, when it comes to actually raising your stats, like if you level up, you get more HP, you get more attack power. I kind of don't see that ever happening with Last Day. It would be cool, but it would kind of then make your character a little bit too strong. Like, you know how your character is, he always has 100 HP. He always hits for the same damage when he's, barehanded. He always takes the same amount of damage when he's naked. If you have him level up with more HP and more attack power, it would kind of sometimes negate the other equipment in the game. Like, assuming you're at level 40 now, and you have 40 levels worth of additional HP, attack power, etc., etc., you can now literally go to, like, maybe a green map and just farm it naked without even having to make a weapon. You can just basically just maybe punch zombies down and kill them easily because you've been upgrading your stat by leveling up. So, I think adding that system would probably negate a lot of the pre-existing gear. And I don't think they would want to do that. Especially because, let's be honest here. It's still a game, and the point of this game is for Kefir to make money. And, that's not something that's bad. They're a company, they need to pay their bills, they need to pay their employees, they gotta make money. So if you're suddenly leveling the characters up, by just leveling up and making them stronger that way, it removes part of the farming that's needed for us to continuously play the game over and over and over. And then when you're playing the game over and over and over, some people get a bit lazy and they're kind of like, you know what? I'm done farming for this. Let me go to the store right now and just buy a crate or whatever. And there you go. Kefir makes money. And again, that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. As I mentioned, they have to pay bills. They got to pay their employees. They got to make money some way, right? Whether it's crates, whether it's ads, they got to make money. It's a business, right? So, will we ever see upgraded stats? No, I don't think so. But can we see skills? I could see that. Yeah, I could easily see that. Like maybe a skill to, I don't know, give you a better chance at finding items in the wild. Like say for instance, you go to a berry bush, right? Maybe there's a skill that makes you a better forager. So you go to a berry bush, instead of like getting 3 berries, you get 4 berries. It doesn't seem like a lot, like much, right? But it's still something extra, and it gives the game a bit more depth. If you guys remember the terrible anime game I played, that was also a ripoff. I don't guess it was terrible, it was alright, but the game was really clunky. But it was the Schoolgirl, Z-Girls, Last Survivor, whatever the hell it was called, but it's basically Last Day just with an anime look to it. In that game, when you level up, you actually do get some HP. And what's weird about that game, there's also no items to buy, nor are there any ads to my understanding, so I'm not sure how that development team is making money. Or if they ever plan to add stuff like that to make money, but at the moment in that game, when you level up, you also get more HP. So, yeah, it's kind of really intriguing. So can it be done? Obviously it can be done. Will it be done? No. And obviously for the reasons I just mentioned right now. Alrighty guys, so I think that's going to be just about it. Everything you'll see in the background today will be just gameplay I'll record after this. Like right now, after I'm done with this, I'm going to go and probably just record myself playing for half an hour and just doing no commentary, which is fine, it makes me more focused on the game. I could get stuff done faster. So everything you'll see in the background will be something I'm recording after this. And as I mentioned, if there's an update during Thanksgiving break for me, I will try to get it recorded and uploaded. If I can't, for whatever reason, it'll be until after Thanksgiving break, maybe Monday or something. But I'll try to make some time to make it happen. And in case there is no update, this is the reason why this video is going up. Because I wanted to have something for you guys, and at the same time, go over the questions, go over some theories, and give you a bit of an update in case you don't see me until Monday. If you don't see me in the comments until Monday, I'll just be busy or something like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great Thanksgiving if you celebrated. And if you don't, just have a great day in general. I will catch you, hopefully with an update. And if not, I'll just catch you next week.